It's important to remember that when you lead in pain, you actually bleed on everyone around you that you serve. And the body does keep score. A person's wealth is determined by their assets, investments, and things that they own. I say true wealth is about how you live it. Your girl is back. Welcome to season 2 of Wealth Within Reach. Welcome back to another episode of Wealth Within Reach. And this one is for all the multi-passionate folks out there. You love to do more than one thing. You don't want to just do one thing. You want to do this and you want to do that, and you want to be an agent and you want to be an investor and you want to have a compound and you want to have a vacation home. This is for you. I too am a multi-passionate person, and I believe in doing it all if I want to do it. Okay. So many times people ask me, Erica, how do you do so many things? How do you run multiple businesses and homeschool your kids and be a wife and all the things? In this episode, I'm going to break down almost like a day in the life of what it's like to manage all of these things. Okay. So if that's you want to check out this episode, get your notes. Let's get ready. But before that, if you have not already subscribed, be sure to hit the subscription link, subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss out on any juicy, good content. All right, let's jump into it. So people ask me, how do I do everything that I do? And for those of you who aren't aware, not only do I have a 7-figure real estate portfolio, but I also do lots of other things. I homeschool a couple of my kids. In addition to that, I run multiple businesses. So I'm going to break down a little bit of what I do and then how I actually manage all of these things week to week. One of the businesses that I run is a real estate sales team because I am also a licensed real estate agent. My sales team is Strive Real Estate Group. So we help folks buy, sell, and invest in real estate all over town. In addition to that, I am a co-founder of a brokerage called Boast. We have over 200 agents. We're one of the fastest growing brokerages in Georgia. I also own a landscaping company with my husband that he primarily manages with our family member. I also teach people how to invest in real estate through the Owning It and Living It community, where I mentor, I host mastermind retreats, and that's where I also host my annual conference. I am a podcaster with this podcast, and also I'm an angel investor for a couple different businesses. So you can imagine that I do a lot of different things, and you're probably asking yourself, how in the world do you do all of those things? I'm going to break it down for you because it's really not as difficult as it may sound. 1, it's important to know that some of the businesses that I'm involved in, I am completely passive, and some of them I take a more active role. So whenever an opportunity presents itself to me, depending on the season of life that I'm in, I can determine to say, okay, yes to this opportunity. Yes, this aligns with my overall long-term goals and the long-term goals of my family, or no, this doesn't align. And then I also ask myself, what type of contribution will I need to make into this business in order to say yes? And depending on what's going on in life will determine if the answer is a yes or a no. All right. So let's talk about, from a week to week basis, what it looks like to be a multi-passionate entrepreneur. All right. So let me share a little bit of my weekly routine. First off, I always start the week really being able to take a moment, take a beat, and set my intention for the week. Personally, I don't like to have a lot of going on Mondays. Mondays is the day where, even though most people in the world are like having meetings and they're hustle and bustle, that's my week to really like set my intention, to look at my calendar ahead of time and say, okay, what is the overall goal that I need to accomplish this week? What are the priorities happening in my family, in my personal life? And then how do I fit business into that? At the end of the day, you want to be able to have a business that revolves around your life and not the other way around. Depending on what we have going on in our personal life, then that helps to set the intention of how I'm going to navigate the week. So I start on Monday what's called a brain dump. All right. So you know how it is when you just have so many things in your head and you can't accomplish anything because it's like you don't know what to do first. I know you feel that way because I feel like that every week. So with the brain dump, all I do is I just write everything down. I don't judge it. I don't try to solve it. The goal of this process is to just get it out of your head, okay? Naturally, being a person that is multi-passionate in so many things, it's important to be organized. So this is a way that I organize my thoughts by just getting everything just written down on paper. I don't organize it on paper. I literally just write it down line by line. And then after I write it down line by line, then I begin to organize it. Is this in the personal bucket? Is this in the real estate sales bucket? Does this go into the real estate portfolio bucket? I organize it into buckets, okay? Then after that, I go through each line and I say, is this something that I need to do? Or is this something that someone else, whether it's a team, someone on my team, a child, or someone else needs to do, okay? I go through each list. And here is where it's important that you don't commit to too many things, because a lot of times when we are multi-passionate person, we're also the type of people who, oh yeah, I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. And then we look up and we're burnt out and we're doing too much, okay? So it's important that you look ahead of your week, you look at your schedule, so you can really say yes to commit to doing things that you really can potentially accomplish. Like if you know that you're in an all-day meeting on Tuesday, don't agree to do something on Tuesday that you know that you're not going to have time to do, right? So it's important to like be honest and be upfront with yourself when you're going through this time. And if you have a bunch of things and you can't get everything done this week, that's okay too. Focus on the things that are important and urgent, all right? So then I go through and I assign who's doing what, and then I schedule whatever's left over from me. I schedule what to do each day. Are you tired of wasting so much time pulling data, reviewing comps, and trying to put together the financing to do your next deal? Guess what? You don't have to do all that. Backflip helps you to analyze properties instantly, helps you to pull high quality comps. You can actually apply for loans directly through the app while also choosing your best investment strategy. All you have to do is download the free Backflip app now and go on your way to make smarter, faster, and more profitable decisions today. Again, if it's Tuesday and I have a quarterly planning meeting with my team, then I'm probably not going to be writing emails on Tuesday, because I know that requires a little bit more like one-on-one processing time. And so I try to schedule just certain things that align with my brain. So if I know I'm having lunch with a friend on Wednesday, I have coffee with a mentee, I'm going to do all of my like extroverted like stuff outside of the office in one day. If I know that I have one-on-one calls with my mastermind members, I'm going to do all of those on the same day on Friday, you know? And so for those of us who are entrepreneurs or have a little bit more flexibility with our time, we can kind of pick and choose what days we're going to give things to according to what we're already doing. And so I start off on Monday before I get into the week, planning my entire week. And that helps me to feel like it gives me peace of mind, and it reduces my anxiety to say, whew, all right, I've scheduled that thing to be taken care of. I don't have to worry about it, because guess what? It's scheduled for Thursday. For those of you who feel like you're constantly having to catch up, you're constantly dropping the balls, you're constantly forgetting things, this is a way to not have to keep everything in your mind. This is a way to get it on paper, to get it scheduled, and to reduce that stress, because you know that you are actually being proactive about getting multiple things done. Also, with this first day of setting my intention and doing my brain dump, each quarter I create what's called a not to-do list, okay? Because we have our to-do list. I know you got one. I know you have probably like 10 things on your list to do this week. But what we don't have that we should have, especially for those of us who be doing too much, and I know you out there, we need a not to-do list. These are the things that suck up our time that we know that we need to delegate or get someone else to do, so that we can focus on doing the things that actually bring us life and ultimately help us grow our goals and our businesses, okay? One of the things I first learned, I attended a workshop right when I decided to start my real estate company when I was still working my 9-to-5. I got in the room. I never forget it. They said one of the key things to starting a business is delegation. And you may say, how do I know what to delegate? What they said was, You need to focus on the higher income level task. If you are doing things that are $10 an hour tasks, then you should be delegating the $10 an hour task so that you can focus on the $500 an hour task. But what happens is for us that we do too much and then we find out like, man, I'm spending all this time doing these things that actually don't make an impact, that also don't actually grow my rental portfolio, that don't make me more money. What happens is, we look up and we're behind the game. We're behind our goals. That's because we've been spending all of our time doing $10 and $15 an hour tasks, and we aren't doing the $500 an hour task. This is a high level conversation, y'all. This is a CEO conversation, okay? Even if you have a W-2 income, your rental business is your business, okay? So this is a CEO of your LLC business episode, okay? And so a part of having a not to-do list is helping you to focus on the tasks that are really actually help to grow you. So here are some examples of that. You may want to buy your next rental property, okay? Maybe you have a rental property currently and you feel like, man, I had a goal this year to purchase my next rental property, but I feel like I have not found the time. And so I would say, okay, what have you been spending your time on? Oh my gosh, I've been spending my time on making all these repairs on these properties, answering all the requests from these guests from Airbnb, doing all this property management work, catching up on my taxes and doing all these things. And I just can't find the time to actually go and look for deals. Guess what? You are focusing on $10 to $15 an hour tasks and not focus on the more expensive tasks like acquisitions, like running numbers. Those are the more expensive tasks that really drive your business to the next level. So what you need to do is begin figuring out, what do I need to not do, and add this to my not to do list so that you can get more time to focus on the things that are really going to take you to the next level. So a big part of that is, as I'm reviewing this list once a quarter, I'm constantly looking at that brain dump list and I'm saying, okay, am I doing something that is supposed to be on my not to do list, but I'm trying to do it? I have to constantly coach myself to say, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do laundry service. It's so easy to be like, oh, it won't take a minute. I'll just do that. I know how y'all be. But then we look up hours later and we're back in the same situation. And there's another day, another week, another month, and we haven't done what we said we were going to do. Okay. It's really important to make this list, look at this list, constantly go back to review so we can make sure that we are staying on track. A big part of how I manage my week is balancing between managing my life and managing my business. In order for me to be able to homeschool, to run a company, I have a staff with my company, is I utilize what's called time blocking. My team knows, 3 days a week, from 8 o'clock to 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., I'm homeschooling, right? So if they have anything they need from me, they're going to send me a message in Slack. It's like a communication system. They're going to send me a message there. They're going to know that they don't need to reach out to me. And then once I'm done with homeschooling, then I'll jump into Slack and I'll message them back, right? So it's like making sure that you're on the same page with your team, your employers, whoever you're working with, and time blocking and utilizing your calendar so that and everyone knows what's happening. In the same way, I have a weekly staff meeting. So if I'm on my weekly staff meeting, then my kids know, okay, mom is on her staff meeting. If we need her, we can, on Wednesday when we go to the library, we can ask her these questions then. So it's just really making sure that everyone is on the same page with your schedule. You can share your calendar with multiple people so that everyone knows what your availability is and how they can connect with you. For me personally, I love not having to check my email all day, every day. I used to be one of those people who were constantly checking my email. What people don't realize is that hiring someone to help you is actually not that expensive. A lot of times people think about hiring someone full-time, having to offer them benefits, 401k, and it's like, no, that's not the case, okay? You can actually leverage virtual assistants and different agencies to help you find people that can work with you as little as 2 to 3 hours a week. And so I actually have someone that checks my email multiple times a day. I have someone where if I have something I need to schedule, they'll schedule it for me. I cannot stand going back and forth with 3 and 4 emails trying to figure out when to meet. That is, again, a $10 an hour task, right? So I delegate that, and so that someone can manage that process for me. So all I have to do is to show up and to be myself and do what I'm supposed to do. So whether it is hiring an executive assistant to help you with managing loan paperwork for when you go under contract, or communicating with your guests, or helping to do your bookkeeping every month, look at some of the things that are draining your energy so that you can focus on delegating that, so that now you can focus on the things that give you energy, that generally also are things that help you to make more money in your business. How many of you guys every single week, whether it's Saturday, Sunday, y'all are cleaning up your houses, okay? You've worked all week for 40 hours and it's Saturday morning and you finally get a day off and you're spending 2 or 3 hours out of your weekend cleaning your house. You know what? I don't do that anymore. I hired a cleaner. So we have a cleaner that comes every 2 weeks. They do a great job and it's less than, half my electric bill, right? So that's one thing that we've outsourced. We also outsource laundry for the adults in the house. The kids still do their own laundry because they're older. But even if you have young kids, you may think it's really expensive, but for, 3 or 4 bags of laundry, we only pay $25 a week. Yeah, sure. You can always think of, I could just take care of it. That's quick. But again, I want to be in a place where I have the energy to be my best self with the time that I do have at home. I don't want my family to get my leftovers because I'm depleted, I'm tired, I've been working all day, and now I come home and I can't find any underwear because everything's dirty. Okay? Y'all know how it is. So these are small things that you can help get your time back so that you can spend more time with your loved ones or be able to invest in your education so you actually have time to do the work. Last but not least, I ask for help. I am not afraid to say, hey, you know what? This isn't working for me right now. I'm not able to do that. Can someone help me? I think that's a big misconception. And we grow up in this society where people may feel like, oh, if I ask for help, it looks like I don't know anything. We're all trying to figure it out. Okay. We're all trying to do our best. And so some of us have been in a place where we've been, we've had people like look down on us because we said we needed help. And that's a problem. I really honestly feel like the reason why I've been able to have access to the mentors and the community that I've been able to tap into is because I'm not afraid to say, hey, I need to ask for help. How does this work? I think if you have the mindset that, we're all trying to figure it out, no one has fully arrived, and don't make it about other people, just make it about, I need help with accomplishing XYZ, then I think it's easier to ask for help. In the same way that you enjoy or open to help other people are open to help you too. There are really good people out there that are happy to help if you need them. All you got to do is ask them. So as I'm going through my week, I am time blocking. I am having times where I am homeschooling my kids. I'm meeting with my staff. I'm checking in with my mentees, and I'm also embracing fun. Each day I wake up, I have my prayer time. I have my time with the Lord. I go on my walk. That's my personal time to invest in me. I'm messaging my friends on Marco Polo. I'm getting that connection. I'll go on walks with my husband, and then I go into my day. I generally don't start my day till around 10-ish o'clock. And then I go about my day, whether it's a homeschool day with the kids or whether it is meeting with my staff. And the beautiful thing about it is if I decide tomorrow, I want to, work from so-and-so today, or, let's go take a trip to Phoenix, Arizona and do this. Because of the investment I've made through real estate long-term, it really does give the flexibility to be able to make these moves and make some of these things happen. So this is not something that happened overnight. This is just constantly, year after year, moment after moment, making the right moves, asking for help, making mistakes, figuring it out, and keep moving, okay? But here's the things do not always go as planned at all, okay? Sometimes I get calls and it's like, oh, you got a squatter in your house. True story. Sometimes, the kids are going crazy and they're going off on each other. whatever the thing is. In the past, I have personally tried to just stuff it, and keep moving. But then I look up and I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay, this isn't working, right? There are specific signs that let you know, okay, it is time to pause. I'm going to walk you through a few of those signs that let you know that you may need to do something different. Number one, all of a sudden, you are extra impatient. Okay. I'm pretty patient. I'm pretty chill, laid back. But I remember last year I was going through a lot. I just had to keep moving. I felt like I just had to keep moving. I found myself being way more impatient than normal. I found myself yelling at my kids for no reason. And I was just like, okay, hold on. We need to pause. Something is going on here. Also, you may be in a situation where all of a sudden something that you really loved, all of a sudden you don't love it anymore. And you are dreading actually doing the thing that you normally really enjoy doing. That could be a sign that it's time to pause. Lastly, you're in a situation where you're having a hard time being happy for other people. And you know how it is. Your friend just got that promotion, or another friend just celebrated buying their next investment property. And you normally are happy for them, but for whatever reason, you're having a hard time being happy for them. This is a sign that you actually may be doing too much and you may need to pause, okay? Because those of us who are multi-passionate entrepreneurs, we love saying yes to things. We love trying new things, but it's important as the CEOs of our lives that we have these meters in place that can help us to have self-awareness, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a friend, that can really help us to know, okay, now you need to pause. You need to deal with this because you're going to actually start hurting the people around you. It's important to remember that when you lead in pain, you actually bleed on everyone around you that you serve. And the body does keep score. But I don't want you to look at these moments as failures. I want you to look at these moments as opportunities to learn and grow. When these things happen and you need to take a pause and you feel like I can't take a pause, there's so many things happening, I cannot stop. This is why I encourage you and I plead with you to stop. I know how hard it is to stop and pause and just keep going. But I'm telling you, if you don't, it's going to come out one way or the other. And I found that when I actually step away from my business, I'm able to actually assess the gaps within my team that help us initially figure out where we need to grow so we can get better. I hope this episode was helpful to you. I know this is a different level episode again for my multi-passionate folks who really truly want to be the CEOs of your lives. If you're like saying, okay, Erica, how do I even start to get to the level that you're at? How do I even start with, scaling and buying more properties and running multiple businesses? I hope that I was able to explain to you that you can't do it alone. Okay. I have multiple team members. I have an operations manager. I have a marketing program lead. I have an executive assistant. I even have fractional contractors, a graphic designer. There's so many things, CFO, bookkeeper. I have these small teams that hire them in various capacities that really help me to be able to run all the things I run. And so I want to encourage you, one, to hire a business coach or a coach to help you really become the CEO of your business. Because a lot of times a coach can be your quarterback to help you figure out who you need to hire first and what you need to do. But ultimately, to recognize that it's going to take a team in order to help you grow to that next level. And if you're here, you really want to be the CEO of your real estate business and you have big dreams and you have hopes and people have told you your whole life, oh, you're doing too much, you're doing a lot, then you need to be here, okay? And I have something special for you. I have a really great workshop called Build Your Dream Team. In this workshop, I actually break down who you need to have on your team, when you know you need to hire them. Here are some questions that you need to ask them. This is how you find them. It really breaks all that down. I take my expertise with building a team, hiring and firing over the years to really help you streamline the process. So go to the link in my bio and you can grab that workshop and get started today. But thank you so much for listening to another episode of Wealth Within Reach. Let me know, what was your biggest takeaway of this episode? And while you're here, give me a 5-star review. I really appreciate it. Share this with a friend. I'll see you soon. Hey friend, have you been enjoying this podcast and you're like, okay, Erica, how can I connect with you and other of your amazing guests that are on the podcast? You can do that within the Owning It and Living It Facebook group. I have the Owning It and Living It Facebook group to help to foster community with other like-minded real estate investors. Folks are sharing advice, I'm sharing tips, and we're fostering community so we can help take our real estate investments to the next level. If you are ready to do that, I want you to join the Owning It and Living It Facebook group. You can go to the link in the bio to join today.